Greetings from Deal and Annulus, or Polyhedron and Polymath. Um, um, just still kind of like scratching that itch to play on Classic, and I was rudely disconnected yesterday. But also I decided to like leave that Orc 1 and Orc 2 and come over here to the Bandit camp, just southeast of the Kelethan city. Outdoor city, Great Wood Elf outdoor city. And what we're going to do, this is a great place to learn like the relative risk benefit of Soothe and Lull. Really cost benefit. It's not really a risk benefit. I have not had a Lull crit fail. And so I think probably that justifies playing an Erudite over a High Elf. I guess it sort of depends. Transportation. This on Yelnak, we're in the Lucklin era, and it was relatively easy to get here. I took the Nexus Spires up to the Nexus, and then the Nexus Spires down to Greater Fadark, and boom, I'm here. So transportation wasn't an issue. And obviously Planes of Power era. Transportation's just, it's a non-issue. Obviously, night blindness, can't see anything. But I think I just prefer to have the intelligence of the Erudite, which, I like being able to get off that spell, that extra spell. We're going to soothe this bandit here. And then what we'll do is we'll Shock of Blades. Well, bam! Look at that. I love that. Alright. And we could see Soothe cost about 12% of my mana pool, but it's a wider area. So what I tend to do is, like, I'll lull, say for example, this young lady. Let me go ahead and root this bandit, and I'm trying to train melee defense. So I actually don't want these mobs running away. I'll just basically train melee defense until Polymath and Polyhedron, their hit points get to around 50%, and then once the hit points drop to about 50%, then I'll finish with a nuke. But really, I'm trying to get that melee defense up, and trying to conserve mana. All right, there's a static mob I killed up here. One of the reasons why I like it, compared to Orc 1 and Orc 2, you don't have like level 10 Centurions walking through this camp. So it's just, in terms of the safety, it's just easier. They're all static spawns. And there's no faction. So I can just go, hey, how you doing? And just not really an issue. All right, so we'll go lull, lull, soothe. Lull, lull, soothe, and then we'll pull her with the mage. So, lull. Lull. And soothe. It's not too bad. Boom. And let's use a flame bolt to pull this. And nice. Okay, and engage the pet. Okay, should be good. And I'm going to just sneak up and try to get some melee defense on Polymath. Work a root. Boom. Nice. Okay. I really like boxing with a mage. Eventually I'm going to get Mallow, which allows me to Mallow pet. Mallow and Tasha pet. So these are still up. Okay, so we're going to soothe her. Yeah, so I really like what Mallow can bring. I think if I were to box a priest class, it would probably be a shaman. All right, there she comes. There you go. So yeah, you think about what a druid, and what a cleric would bring as priest class to an enchanter, and obviously, you got, good heals and stuff. But I think there's some redundancy that would amount to sort of like a wasted investment when you think about Pacify and Harmony, that a cleric and an enchanter would presumably spend their plat on. And while we're waiting for this break to occur, we're just going to pull her. So yeah, so a cleric gets Pacify, and a druid gets Harmony, right? But when you have an enchanter, most of the pacification is being done through the enchanter, and since you don't really get like lull crit fails, it's not real. Like I haven't noticed it here. I haven't noticed it in the OMM era. Come on, defense. So I think, and so if you're boxing with a priest class, I think the redundancy from probably Turgor's insects would be more preferable, especially if you're on raid. In other words, a shaman tries to get Turgors on a raid boss, can't get it to stick, and the enchanter is chain casting, Forlorn Deeds, finally gets Forlorn Deeds to stick. And then the shaman continually casting Turgors finally gets it to stick. So the idea of that sort of redundancy, that's sort of valuable, and that's definitely of much more value to a raid force. But if you're a cleric or a druid, and you spent the money on a spell, it's like Harmony or Pacify, and you're not using it, then I consider that like a wasted investment. And so I think probably if I were to box a priest class, it would probably be a shaman, because the redundancy that you would get from having Turgors or multiple different slows. And keep in mind, in the Plains of Power era, you get a disease-based slow on the shaman called Cloud of Grummus. So I think that would be of much more value over time. And we're on a time lock server, and that my thinking tends to be along a time lock server lines. Yeah, and I just, but like personally, I just prefer to live dangerously. I guess it's ultimately a philosophical decision, right? I think the purpose of life is to live it, not to prevent death. So I just prefer to have the DPS of a mage. And, look at my mage's health. I'm at 50%. So, yeah. So, yeah. Enchanter Mage. I kind of like Mage Cleric. So a cleric can pacify, but I think just having the utility of the enchanter with all the tricks that the enchanter has, together with just the mage pet and the power of the mage's nukes and stuff. It's just, look, I was just able to clear that camp so easy, and just kind of figure out the cost of these nukes. Here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to pull with Suffocating Sphere. And then as she comes in, we'll Tash. Alright. And then we'll root her. And just have her beat me up. This is probably the most exciting fight you will ever see in EverQuest. And yeah, just let's just work. And I'm out of mana, which is fine. It doesn't bother me. Just going to have her beat me up. We'll engage Annulus here, or Polymath. And what we're trying to do is train up melee defense. Melee defense is 32. We're trying to get that to 40. So, I've noticed when going from, like, say, 20 to 30, she still hits me just as hard, So if you look at the mitigation number is not rising. What's rising is the avoidance. So she doesn't hit me as often, kind of thing. So that's why you want to, raise your melee defense. Want melee defense as high as possible. And the only way that goes up is by having these mobs beat you up. Alrighty, so now so that's one complete cycle, and if you look here, should be pretty broken up. I'm gonna maybe try to block line of sight. Sit right here. Maybe enough just to get a lull on this bandit here. There we go. Lull her, and then what I'm going to try to do is just melee with polymath. Pull her back. There you go. Well. There you go. There you go. Nice. Alright. Try a lull here. Okay. Oh, shoot. There was a lull crit fail. Okay. That's fine. I'm trying to train melee defense. And I can... And one thing you notice is the mana pool on polymath. So he can just empty his mana pool. There you go. I'm going to try Shock of Blades here. Let's... Nice. Okay, so we did see a lull crit fail, so it does happen. What's my charisma? A 105. I mean, I don't know. It's pretty rare that that would occur. I do like that I was kind of talking up being an intelligent caster and kind of saying that charisma doesn't matter, then I get a lull crit fail. It's pretty awesome. I love it. Yeah, I just thought I'd do one complete circuit and just kind of learn my chops with Soothe and Lull. We do have Breeze, which is nice during this era. But you know, you have to go to the East Common Lands tunnel to get it. I believe it's crafted at this stage, so you have to have a researcher pay an exorbitant price, and I have a whopping 10 plat to my name. I doubt anyone would give it away. Yeah. Boom. There you go. There you go. One complete clear. Probably gonna call this video good. But anyways, just a fun place, great place to learn your chops as an enchanter. Great place to learn the cost benefit of Soothe versus Lull. Learn the relative reaction radius that it will reduce by. And I guess for these characters, what I'll do is I'll just play them during off peak times. During when I can't find a group on Mangler, and just kind of satisfy my classic itch with these two tunes. Play some caster classes. It's a lot of fun, and it's great because you start seeing things from the viewpoint of a mage and an enchanter, and you start to maybe understand how important it is to protect your casters when you're on raids. So anyways, with that, I'll call this video good. I hope you enjoyed it. One thing to look forward to is going to be some raids, raid content that I've taken some video of. We get to see King Zorb, the King Zorb fight. And there's some other really cool fights from the Reign of Fear expansion. But yeah, right now we're in Tier 4 raid content, which is end stage, which is awesome. Really, really awesome being able to get through that stuff. And anyways, I hope you guys enjoyed it. Let me know any criticisms or suggestions that you have. I love those just as much as compliments. I love criticisms too. I want to know how I can improve. All right, bye everybody.